Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again for joining us at this incredible podcast episode with Bennett Maxwell, which I'm pretty fired up to talk to him about the AI stuff today, right? And a little bit about Bennett before actually I'm going to go into his background. I'm the owner of KDK Fortis Group AI Automation Agency, as well as founder of the Owner's Diary podcast channel that all about equipping startups, small to mid-sized business owners with some insight of what they can do to continue growing their company. Or even if you're a heavy W-2 contributor and interested in owning your own business, this is an actual podcast episode specifically designed for you because AI can make it happen. A little bit about Mac, a little about Bennett. He's the founder of the Dirty Dough. If you guys ever try those amazing cookies near you, highly recommend you to try them. They're amazing. And he's also started the Franchiseki. Am I saying it right, Bennett? Franchiseki?
Yep, Franchiseki. Yep.
Franchiseki, who's been at the center of the rapid brand growth and now helps businesses literally scale with AI-driven systems. And I'm pretty excited about having this conversation with you for the next 30 minutes. So, Bennett, welcome. Thank you for your time. If you can give our viewers a slight kind of background about who you are, what to expect.
Yeah. Grew up in Utah, one of 9 kids, single mom. So grew up hustling, to like pay for sports and stuff. I think it taught me a lot of good skills to be like knocking doors, in junior high and like selling cookie dough to pay for a football camp and stuff like that. Because after that led to a 2-year Mormon mission in Tijuana, Mexico, more sales training and communication training, really good. Came back. And then I started doing door-to-door sales. It's really big in Utah. Like if you look at the top 20 door-to-door companies in the world, I would say at least 10, probably 15 of them are in Utah because you have this. Where else do you have a population of legitimately tens of thousands of people every single year that are shipped who knows where, anywhere in the world, and you have to go knock doors for 2 years and you don't get paid to do it. Not only do you not get paid to do it, you have to pay to do it. So and then you come back, you're like, hey, instead of you paying to go knock doors, how about we pay you? And you're like, interesting. So I got in that world, and it's a big world in Utah. Like Vivint Smart Home Systems is the largest door-to-door company in the world. Second is, and they do security systems. Second is Aptiv or Altera. I forgot their name now. They switch them. Pest control. They're on the same street. That's like like you could throw a rock from one company to the other, and they just recruit each other's reps all the time. And they're both situated a mile away from BYU. But that's kind of the culture here, which is really good because then you become an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur. Like I'm working in somebody else's business, but it's 100% commission. And if I want to grow my commission, I could be a better salesperson and work on my skills, or I could be a better recruiter and a better trainer, a better manager, bring in other people, which is also 100% commission based. So I started doing that for a few years. It went really well. I mean, you can make my first full year doing it. I dropped out of college because I made $250,000 in 5 months at 22, 23 years old. I'm like, I'm going to do this, knocking doors.
Hold on. I want to hear this. What did you buy anything cool for yourself? I mean, $250,000, 5 months.
No. I have since then. I didn't spend any money that I made for like 5 years. Like I bought real estate things and properties and investments, which looking back now, I'm like, okay, that's made me a lot more. But that first year, let me think. Maybe my third year in, I bought a Tesla. My third year making a few $100,000.
I mean, you're coming from nothing to like $250,000 access. Like, I'm sure there was some enticing things you wanted to like indulge on, right?
Yeah. I mean, I also travel a lot, but as far as like material things or whatever, I was just like, no, I'm still like in scarcity mindset. I need to hoard everything. Awesome. Else is gonna, But anyways, so that happened a handful of years. My thought process was I could learn more and become a better person, better salesperson, better whatever. Because I dropped out of college, and I didn't drop out of college because I don't value learning. I dropped out of college because that wasn't for me, but I still wanted to dedicate the same amount of time, energy, money, effort to learning. I wanted to become a doctor. So now let's pivot that and become a professional communicator. I was doing pre-med. I was a semester away from graduating for the first 4 years. But I didn't want to really be a doctor. That just sounded cool in my head. I don't like blood. I'm a baby. But, like it just sounded like it was a good thing, well respected, made some money. And then when I saw I could make money outside of that, I'm like, in less time with more freedom, I'm like, I'm going to double down on this. But again, I want to still invest the same time, money, energy, and skills. So almost every year I switched not only companies, but industries. It's like, if you're at 23 and you made $250,000 and you just sold pest control, why would you go sell for another company? And I didn't go sell for another company. I sold for another industry. I went from pest control and I went and sold direct TV and satellite. And I think I made like 200,000 again. And then from there, I'm like, I'm going to do it again because I learned so much more from another leadership group, from another manager, and from another product on how to sell it. And this was a longer contract. This was a 2-year contract. Pest control is only 1 year. Then I jumped into Vivint Smart Home Security System, 5-year contract, getting paid like $800 to $1,000 a deal. And now I could go make the 200,000 or 300,000. I don't have to recruit anybody. I could just sell personally because I get paid more. Then I did solar. I think I did that for 1.5 years, and then I did solar, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Now I'm getting paid $10,000 a deal, and I was kind of working up that ladder. After I did solar for 1 year or for a summer, I started a solar company. That was in 2020 in San Diego, like right before COVID started. 1 year into it, I replaced myself enough that I wasn't working in the business day to day. I bought a cookie company called Dirty Dough. It was a single store in Tempe, Arizona. And then 6 months after that, I sold my solar organization, which was kind of a surprise. I didn't know that. I wasn't planning on selling that business because it was just like a sales org, but got a good exit from that. And then I went full-time into Dirty Dough within 2.5 years, sold 450 franchises, opened up 100 stores, raised just shy of $10 million, became a national, distributor on the logistics side. We were making cookies for ourselves. Plus we were the franchise company. I don't know. We were trying to do it all. We were trying to grow way too fast. I mean, nobody really goes from 1 to 100 open stores in 2 years, right? And then we closed 20 something of those, which is a few million lost.
No big deal.
I mean, no big deal, but it hurts. But yeah, overall, that was, I sold that in 2024. And then last year I started selling franchises for existing brands that were already established. It's like, I don't want to build a brand and sell it and open it. Let me go find something established. Glow Tanning was the brand I partnered with. He was a franchisee of Dirty Dough. We sold 123 units for him last year. So about 100 million in business. It's about 800,000 to $1 million. And that was mostly through AI ads. So May of last year, we started with these AI avatars that nobody knows is an AI avatar, but it's just like, hey, let me tell you why Glow Tanning is a cool franchise and the numbers, whatever. And it's just like a little floating head with something in the background. And that worked really well last year. And this year it's working way better because AI has just gotten so much better as far as like you could use any avatar with any voice, whatever. But those ads have been working really well. And then you can get that, teach an AI system, an AI agent to manage that for you, which we did. And then once it's managing that for you, why not sell that to someone else? Because it's the same management structure. And now I'm selling basically SaaS, right? I've taken my knowledge work, given it to the AI, turned it to a SaaS product, and now I can scale it infinitely at almost no cost. That's kind of been the strategy this year.
Man, Bennett, thank you so much for providing us some feedback on who's Bennett is, where he came from. And there's just much humbling beginning there, right? And I want to just put myself now as a new entrepreneur, for example, or if I'm just starting, if I'm in my career and I'm wanting to transition to an entrepreneurship, hearing the AI buzzword everywhere, can I ask you, where do I begin if I want Bennett's life? Bennett's, yes.
I would say, like, conceptually, like, what are you after? What are we trying to get? I was going through my story and like, I want to be a salesperson. And in that, I wanted to be a leader, right? I wanted to learn how to lead people, manage people. And then I wanted to learn how to manage managers. Because once I could manage managers, then my influence goes bigger, right? But even then, like, okay, I could manage how many managers that manage people and whatever. You can see the scale though. Hopefully you can see the scale. Like, obviously managing managers is better than managing people. Okay, so now I can manage an agent. Why wouldn't I? And an agent can do just as much as a person, but 10 times faster.
It's not better. Yeah, it's not better.
10 times faster and a lot better with the right training. So it's like, why wouldn't I focus on the AI agent? And then if I could focus on one AI agent, can I focus on a manager of AI agents? Rather than prompting AI, I'm going to prompt, or an AI agent, I'm going to prompt a looping system, which then manages all my other agents. So it's like, okay, I work in ChatGPT. I'm working like this ChatGPT's threads doing my emails. This is doing my calendars, XYZ. You could just kind of combine them all and just have one AI, kind of running everything.
Which sounds awesome, sounds cool, sounds amazing.
And then how?
Obviously, this is
I'll,
when they gotta reach out
I'll
to
get to
Bennett,
the how
right?
then. Yeah.
But
So
like, I want you to share that thought process with me that you shared a couple of weeks ago when we had a conversation about, everybody's seeing that buzzword. How do you do that? Because agentic level was not even a thing 2 years ago, right? But here we go, because of your entrepreneurship mindset, or maybe even a growth mindset, you didn't use that as a cop out. You actually invested time in learning, because everything is available. You can literally just have a conversation with ChatGPT and Claude. How do I do that? Teach me
yeah.
that. Dumb it down that. Like, just as simple as these type of prompts can teach you, right? Step by step. But like, can you share that thought process with me? How did you get equipped in AI? That's fast learning. I'm talking about under 2 years, probably 3 years ago.
Well, no, I'm saying this was
February
February of this year. I
I
mean,
mean, we're
I
talking
was
about less
using
than a year.
AI. I was using AI like the chatbots, the LLMs, whatever. But AI
Glorified Google.
agents
Yeah,
weren't.
glorified Google.
I'd never heard of it at the beginning of this year, January of 2026. I'd never heard the term AI agents. So, but when I did hear it, I instantly caught the vision. I'm like, okay, if I could manage again people, I see the value of that. Managers, I see the value of that. It's the same thing, but with AI, and now you could just scale infinitely. So it's once you grasp that that's what I want to do, then how do you do it? Download, pick one of these three is what I would do. On your computer, download the desktop app. Go with Grok/Cursor/Grokbot. If you get one account, you get all three of those. Or go with Codex or go with Claude. Download the desktop, sign in, and then it'll prompt you. It'll say, get started. And it'll say, connect your email. And you'll hit connect your email. And then right there in that window, it'll pop up and you'll just hit approve, right? Because you're probably already signed in through your Chrome. And then now
Okay.
you're connected to the email. And then you say, go read my last 3 years worth of emails, analyze every single email, who I was talking with, what I told them, why I told them. What I need you to do is replicate my brain. I want you to understand why I make decisions, when I make decisions, and how I communicate differently between coworkers, family, internal team, clients. Go review all of my emails, put that together for me. So that way you can not only do all of my emails in a humanistic voice, but in my voice, right? Within 3 minutes, I think that'll be done for you. So now we're into this 5 minutes. I've downloaded the app. That took a minute or two. I've clicked sign in. I've clicked connect. And then I gave it that one prompt and I've waited. And now like 5-6 minutes, I now have an AI that doesn't sound like a human to respond to my emails. It sounds like me, because that's what we want, right? We don't want an AI that sounds like it. We want an AI that sounds like you. And the best way to train an AI to sound like you is to give it examples of what to do and what not to do, which you just gave it 2,000 examples. So I guess people don't realize how easy it is now to train because how smart the models are. It's like, do you want to train an AI on appointment setting? Do you have recorded calls? Because if you have 1,000 recorded calls from your team on an appointment setting, you can have the AI go classify all 1,000 calls. Did they move forward? Yes or no? Did they buy? Yes or no? Okay, now we categorize them. Then we go and analyze line by line. What did the salesperson say and how did the prospect respond? If, did they get warmer or did they get colder? And based on that, what does that sentence score? And then you're also weighting that sentence score with, well, did the prospect actually move forward in the pipeline? So you set up these different weights and these different categories, which is just ideas, you talking to ChatGPT or Codex. And then you say, okay, go run it. And then it goes and pulls all that data. And it's like, you have everything I just described in less than 20 minutes. And you're like, I can have every good part of every good sales part and every bad part left out, with one or two, maybe three prompts. I think I would get it in one prompt just because I'm so familiar with it. But yeah, it's way easier than you think. And then if you tried it last month and it didn't work good, try it again. It's a completely different system. If you tried it 3 months ago and you're just like, it didn't do much. It's a completely different system. Try it again. It's getting so good.
I think you mentioned to me in our original call that when you understood what agentic level can do, you went out and spent 500 to 1,000 hours.
I still try to do it every day. Like I try to do one video. So there's like, I have a skill that's telling me all AI research and things like, what do I need to know to improve my system? But aside from that, just a YouTube video. And I'm typically rotating between how to sell AI AI agents, or how to advance like AI engineering systems. So one is more like how to set up agentic, like the agentic harness. And the other one is how to package and sell the agent. but I'm just typing that in on YouTube, one of those two things every day, and just trying to pick a 15 to 30-minute video. If you did that same thing for a week, you are legitimately, you're not in the top 10%. You're not in the top 1%. You're in the top 0.1% in the world on AI agents if you did that for 1 week. No joke. Just nobody's done that. You're not behind. Nobody's behind. This is brand new. Saying you're behind in AI today is like saying you're behind in the internet in 99. It's like, you're not behind. It hasn't even started yet.
You just made a comment. You're not behind. So if I'm hearing this podcast right now, I'm watching that outside of me starting those three LLMs. I'm sorry. You said Claude, you said Grok, and what was the third one?
Codex or ChatGPT.
Or ChatGPT, yeah. So when I start, what kind of habits outside of me just watching 1 or 2 videos a day, what else do you recommend I should be doing if I have a demanding job?
This is what you should be doing. It doesn't take that much longer, but it's like, stop checking your emails. How do you stop checking emails? You stop checking your emails by doing what I just told you. You can literally grab this video, grab the link, give it to Claude, give it to Codex, give it to Grok, tell it to transcribe it, and tell it to build what I talked about.
That's simple.
And it'll go do it and say, hey, go pull out what Bennett talked about on that email thing, that replicating my voice. Go pull that out and go build it. And then it'll go build that for you. Now, once you've built that, if you stop checking your email and you make Claude check your email and like, read me my emails, what's left, what's not, whatever. And the next step is like, then it's like, okay, I have 22 emails left unread. You make it an approval card. So it gives you the context and you're just clicking approve, make it shorter, make it warmer, whatever. So you're making it really easy. But once you can start doing that, then that means Claude knows how to manage your emails, right? And then you go to the next thing. It's like, okay, well, what else do I do? Well, look at your browser tabs that you have open. Well, I have, aside from my email, I also have my calendar tab open. Okay, now I'm going to connect Claude with my calendar. I'm no longer going to manage calendars. I'm never going to go into Google Calendar and send a calendar invite. If I need to do that, I'm going to text Claude instead. Because once you start doing that, then again, Claude, once it does it once, 2, 3, 4 times, then it can start doing it forever. So if you give it a process and you force yourself, I'm not going to log into my CRM to put the notes in. I'm going to tell Claude that Claude has to log into the CRM to put the notes in. And if it does, then I'm going to teach Claude, you have to do that on every single call, always. And then, and that's how you're really starting to get AI to take over everything. You're just going with one interface, which is your AI, and you don't need to go into email and then to Slack and then to Notion and then to a project manager and all this complicated stuff. AI will make your life so much more simple by just giving you that one interface. And then again, force yourself. If Codex is running it for you, then that means if it did it once, it could do it again. So that's how I would conceptualize it. It's not that much time. It's not that much effort. It was 3 months ago. It definitely was 5 months ago. It's not today. If you download Grokbot today, you will have your whole system set up today. Like, it is the easiest system. It just came out last week. It didn't exist. I was never recommending Grok a month ago, right? But now they just came out of nowhere. I'm like, they're probably the best right now as far as pricing, speed, and all of that. So all of the platforms are getting really good, but that's where I would start.
You also believe that everyone will eventually be affected by AI, right? Because obviously, as we're chatting, what can be done by a normal person simply is just start today and start talking to AI like you're in your first grade level, right?
I have a 5GL skill and it's 5th grade level. It's 5th grade level. I want numbers, tables, stats, and colors. I don't want
I didn't know colors. That's cool.
So on everything, it's just 5GL skill. And it's like, it adapts to your brain, because a lot of times, that initial response is like, your harness doesn't load the conical drive from Google because of the bash command didn't work with shell. You're like, what are you talking about? Before, months ago, I was like, I want to learn all that, and which was helpful. But I'm like, you don't need to learn that. You just need to tell Claude to adapt to your level of no coding. Maybe that's 5th grade level. Maybe that's 7th grade level, whatever it is.
What industries or job types do you think actually will feel that pain first?
I think sales is right around the corner. I mean, you have like all of this stuff like data analytics, that's been in threat. Computer coding, nobody's coding. Coders, I mean, you could be a coder, but a coder is a prompter now, right? Computer engineering isn't a thing anymore. You're Like the inventor of Claude Code said he hasn't written a line of code in a year because Claude does that, So coding, I think, is already gone. But you can, I guess, what I'm talking about, the industry is going to leave. I mean, the AI is going to replace a lot of people in the industry, but it will never replace, or at least it won't replace the people who know how to use the AI, right? So it's like whatever your position is, if you are a financial bookkeeper, you need to rethink. You're not a financial bookkeeper anymore. You are a manager of agents that financially bookkeep for your clients. And if you could adapt that, and I'm not a salesman anymore. I'm not an appointment setter. I am the manager of an AI appointment setter that I'm training it how I set appointments. And once that's trained once, I can go sell that to a Chinese company. Why? Because it's the same freaking concepts, right? It's the same concepts of how to sell and how to listen, whatever. And there is no time zone barriers with AI, and there's no language barriers. So it's like, once you've developed that process for you, you really can, obviously China is an extreme example, but go to all of the United States and then go to all of England and sell all of Australia. Like, your target demographic of whatever you're selling is infinitely bigger. So you take, again, whatever work you're doing, you teach your AI to do it. Now it becomes basically a software as a service. It's basically free, and you can scale that as much as you want. So this is what I'm telling my employees to do, and they're doing it. What you're trying to do is, whatever your job is, replicate yourself. Like, completely replace yourself for my company. So if your role for my company is the appointment setter, which this is Cody, I had Cody replicate his own voice. So it's not just like pick an AI voice. We recorded his voice and it replicated on N11 Labs, then made his AI agent. We trained it on all of his calls, but just took the calls that did well and not. So it's not just him, it's just the best of him. Then what I'm telling him, cool, now you're going to use your knowledge work that you just built for Franchiseki. And as soon as that's successful, or before, this file of like your agent's voice and how they think, that's free. You can have it and you can replicate it and then go sell it to whoever you want. So it's like, build it for my company. I will teach you how to build it. I will pay you to build it and set it up. And then you can use the same software because it doesn't cost me anything. You can go sell it to as many people as you want on the side. So it's kind of a motivation for them to,
and you can scale that.
So I'm telling them, yeah. And it's like, if you want to go sell the same thing that I'm selling, but I'm targeting franchises, you might go target a home service, but there's no scarcity mindset. At least in my mind, it's just like, there's a million, there's the entire world as your potential client now with AI. So with employees, whatever you're doing for your employer, automate it. And once you've automated it, what do? Do you do finances for them? Well, why would you not go sell that same now automated bookkeeping service to a million other companies? Because you can now go do it. It's your brain every single time, but you don't have to actually think about it.
That's amazing.
So that just goes kind of with every single job. Just think like, okay, I'm going to give it to an AI because I'm the marketing manager and I know how to make really good videos. Well, guess who else needs to make really good videos? Every company in the world. So can you go sell that same service that you're doing for your employer and just say, hey, it's the same thing, but now it's going to, as it relates to the ice cream industry, and you start selling it to ice cream owners.
That's awesome. I just want to close this talk with one piece of advice when it comes down to AI, anything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. One piece of advice. Yeah. You're not behind. Just start today. If you spent 10 to 30 minutes a day for a week, you're in the top 1,000th%. So just get started. I have a tool that I've built for free. If you go to Bennett-Maxwell.com, you could type in your website or answer like what tools you have, and it'll tell you what people are doing in your industry with AI. So you could kind of compare it. And then it'll actually build your first 3 agents for you, makes you a little podcast. So you could listen to it 10 minutes. And it's like, hey, you want to listen to, I'm going to talk to you about what AI is doing in your industry leaders, and how you can implement it with your existing tools. So that's for free. That spits it out and just takes you a minute to fill out. But just get started. Like, get started somewhere. Business advice, which I know you didn't ask that, but I'm going to answer that.
I do want to ask. Actually, yes, please. Business advice. Absolutely.
General advice or business advice. Nothing's that important. Nothing's that serious. Don't take everything serious. I don't know. I think there's so much in business. It's just like life or death.
Can you expand on that? Yeah, I want to hear that. Can you expand on that? Yeah.
I'm a big believer in it. I think the biggest believe, or the thing that made me believe in it the most was when I was constantly struggling for payroll with Dirty Dough. I had to raise $200,000 every month to survive, every single freaking month. So it was always like, oh, payroll. I have 200 employees and all these employees have their families. And if they can't work for Dirty Dough at $12 an hour, they're not going to eat. It's like, what was I thinking? But like, I put all this, like, I was God. Like I was providing for these people. It was just like this ego inflated, like they need me and their families need me or they're not going to eat. Yeah, right. They've eaten every day of their life before they met me and they will not skip a beat. You know what I mean? So like taking the pressure off of yourself and off of everything, it's just like life is what life is. There's nothing that's that important. Everything that you think is that important isn't that important, I guess. That's been the only mentality for me to cope with massive amounts of stress of just like, it's all made up. It's literally just like some sensation somewhere that I'm feeling in my perception of consciousness, and I'm giving it. I'm like, oh, I don't like the tingling when it's on my chest because I'm calling that anxiety. It's like if you could get rid of that and like who cares is just a tingling and really bring things down to their basis sensation, then you can run a business without being in hyper stress mode and like cortisol levels high every single day, which is a terrible way to run a business. I tried that. I gained 100 pounds doing that. I've lost it, but yeah, I got up to 300 pounds trying to do all that.